make sure the sign is off.
We'll still do it, yeah. No, you can go in, you can go in. Is that a new screen? I haven't read it yet. Same one that's on the screen. It looks different somehow.
I think we tied a wire or something. I'm pretty sure it's the same TV, although they could have changed it and I could have missed it. We kind of jostled the room around a little bit. There we go. There's John.
I didn't see the hat. Right.
It's a new addition.
We change it out.
Never know what he might have on for a hat.
Is that
It's
how
like the
adorable?
house with the goose or something. It used to be the goose.
It's a flower.
Wonderful.
Oh.
It took like 11 hours.
Couldn't have been cheap.
Up to you.
I don't need one. I don't have the 3D self. Well, yeah, I mean, you can download it. I just know that. I've got a couple of guys at work that have.
I was out with the weed whackers this morning. And I didn't want to take on this. So I.
Faith in you.
It's like anything, it started $100.
You know, pretty good
When you
with
look at it, you're gonna.
There's this company called Bamboo. I've got a website. Yeah, he started with the base one. Does different materials at the same time.
She is the keeper of all things.
He made stuff for our.
You didn't get practice for me? You didn't get practice for me?
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. Please join me, pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone, to our last meeting in May. And before we get started with the regular agenda, we have some business to take care of. The executive session 2026-6 for an amount of $600. Motion to approve that.
We gotta come out of executive session first, correct?
Okay, let's.
I'll make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Motion made, second, come out of executive. Now we'll act on 2026-6 for $600.
So move to approve. Second.
All in favor? 2026-7 for $2,400.
So move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? And 2026-8 for $600.
Move to approve for $600.
Second.
All in favor? Very well. Okay. Now we will do any adjustments to the agenda.
I have one. You had nominated for the Legislative Policy Committee, the chairman of the EDC, Conrad.
Mhm.
He would like to step aside because he felt Kate Guy representing the town of Waldoboro would be phenomenal.
What does Kate think of that idea?
Kate thinks it's a lovely idea, but she's right there.
A lot of fun.
Okay, sorry, I just want to make sure you're included on this since we already nominated somebody.
Julie talked to me earlier.
Okay.
I think it would be an interesting opportunity.
Okay.
Also, at 11.2, we'll put
Kate Guy in
Kate.
EAGA.
Nomination to Legislative Council, right?
Yes.
And also on a new business 10.3, we can delete that.
Yeah.
Any other adjustments?
Yeah, I got one. I thought Bob was gonna be on the agenda for EDC.
we were collecting everybody's so that you can
Okay,
have a whole day of fun interviewing.
okay, all right. No, I thought we. Okay, that's fine then. No, that's fine. I just noticed he wasn't on this.
Okay, next, we have presentations. And we will start off with our 2027 town report dedication. I'll stand up for this one.
You better.
I'll stand up at the podium. How's that?
I think it's a
That way
great
people
idea.
can hear you, John.
Can you
It's
hear me,
great.
Billy?
I can stay home and you know.
Ready, Billy?
You ready, Billy? Everyone knows that every year we have the honor and privilege to dedicate our town report to someone that has done a lot for the town, done a lot for the community, done a lot for their families, everyone. It's a very, very difficult decision for us to figure out who that one person is. Because normally it's I don't know, let's figure this one out. So without further ado, this year's dedication is made to Mr. Robert Butler. If Bob would come up here and stand next to me, please. Surprise.
Surprise. Would I be in on anything, Bob? I'm, you know.
I'm gonna read what's in the town report. And it's the first time I've read it, so bear with me, okay, Bob?
Okay, I'll bear with you.
We actually had to pound our publisher to get this thing done for tonight. Because we knew how important it was for you to be standing up here with me. I wish I had $1 for every time Bob Butler said, "What can I do to help?" His is never an idle offer. Bob has put his countless hours over the past 20 years actively helping the town in every way he can, from sitting on numerous boards and committees to mowing lawns, picking up trash on the roadside, and other things. His worldly life before settling into Wallerboro shows that service has always been in his blood. Bob was the third born in a family of 6 siblings. He grew up in Hibbing, Minnesota. Is that right?
Yeah.
A northern mining town with many different nationalities. Bob didn't graduate high school as he was away in Germany's senior year on exchange program. He attended Johns Hopkins University, which overlooked his non-graduate status, where he earned a BA in German literature and a master's at Johns Hopkins of Advanced International Studies. He earned his MBA at Boston University in 1979. From 1968 to 70, he served as a volunteer in the Peace Corps in Afghanistan. He began the beginning of many years traveling through foreign addresses. He had a brief stint as a motorcycle mechanic. That's new. I just learned that.
GmbH in Düsseldorf, Germany. And he could still buy his leather jackets.
At the prestigious Heingerich, whatever he just said, in Germany. A stopover while driving his motorcycle through Europe from 1970 to 71. In 1971, he spent 3 months teaching English at the girls' school. Girls' school in Beirut. He was a student in advanced Arabic in the Middle East Center for Arab Studies from 73 to 74 in Lebanon. Bob started his banking career, Banker Bob, in 1974 with Ashland Oil Company in the Middle East as the Middle Eastern representative with the Arabian American Oil Company, which I know is Aramco, right?
Aramco, yeah.
Which
Saudi Aramco.
they
now.
took care of me when I was over in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah, they were.
working on the commercial lending departments as a credit analyst in Middle East banking. He spent 8 years for the National Commerce Bank in Saudi Arabia, where he was the head of the corporate banking for the Eastern Province. Bob has 2 children, Grant, who lives in Boston, and Kate, who lives in Tucson. Upon his return to the U.S., Bob set up a holding company to run a 1,000-acre Yehoba farm in Hyder, Arizona.
Yeah.
In 1994, he started the marketing arm, Boston Yehoba, company, later known called the Original Yehovah Company. He and his wife Sally ran the company from their property in Waldeboro where they moved to in 2005 until they sold the business in 2018. The company relocated to nearby Washington. Since making his home in Waldeboro, Bob has been deeply involved in municipal affairs, starting with chairing the Waldeboro Transfer Station Committee, which led to leadership positions in Municipal Waste Hub in Hamden. With the encouragement from Becky Maxwell, who he met when he filled the vacant select board seat from 2009 to 2011. He ran for select board seat many times before settling in as a member from 2016 to 2025. Notably, in his first term on the board, he restructured the insurance benefit for town employees in a way that saved the town $1 million over 5 years without significantly infecting their coverage. He has been involved in the Economic Development Company, Wireless Broadband Communications and Technology Committee, Waldeboro Business Association. He's a trustee at the Waldeboro Public Library, treasurer of the Waldeboro Historical Society, and other organizations. Bob also was on the executive committee of the Maine Municipal Association in Augusta, an organization that provides valuable services and advocates for collective municipal interest. At the Waldeboro Public Library, where he is serving his third term as a trustee, Bob has put in hundreds of hours over the past dozen years, helping in every possible way, from overseeing the finances, working every fundraiser, and even mowing weekly every summer. He has served as a treasurer when on the board as an ongoing member of the Library Finance Committee, where his banking experience and knowledge have been proven invaluable. He has been instrumental in making improvements in the library's financial procedures, in the library's building, installing heat pumps and LED lights, and the creation of the village bookshop. When Becky Maxwell found out Bob could speak the language, she recruited him to conduct the annual service in German at the old German meeting house. Bob's German experience was an asset when he served on the Oktoberfest committee for 4 years. Being the owner of Yehovah Company at the time helped too. He provided dozens of 55-gallon empty barrels to mark off the beer garden and they spelled the German way, and other boundaries for the barrel roll races. If there's anything Bob won't do for this town, actually, yes. In an uncharacteristic act of defiance, Bob refused to wear his genuine German lederhosen for Oktoberfest, no matter how hard the committee begged him to do so. That's okay. For all he has done for Waldeboro over the years, we can let that one go. Dankeschön, Bob. I don't speak the language. And I'm very proud and honored to be standing up with Bob and read.
Where did you take me by?
Well, that was kind of the,
Wow,
introduction.
I had no idea.
I know.
It's such an honor.
I am
Thank you.
sorry that we kind of got you here. I mean, we got you here under reputable circumstances, and we actually really
You
did
actually-
need you.
Yeah.
We actually did want you here.
You
It was
did,
just get you to stay. We kind of.
And it was gonna go to Billy, but we changed our mind.
Thank you.
You deserve it, Bob. You really do.
Yeah.
When the town welcomes somebody the way they welcomed me. And speechless.
It's a great place.
It is.
It just needed a little hug.
Yes. You're good at that.
Now we'll move on to our next presentation, our housing study by Keith.
I'm not sure where to stand where you can actually hear me and I can. Move this.
Do you want me to, if you,
I'm gonna try and move that.
Oh, that'd be great.
I think. All right,
We don't have a handheld or a.
we're getting one,
we're doing-
it's a new system.
this works. So unfortunately, Jen Dione, who is the author of this lovely study, couldn't join us today. She's traveling. But if you have any questions after I give you a brief high-level overview, she's more than happy to answer them. This is the housing study that we just had done. It was conducted by Signal Group, paid for with a grant, an ARPA grant from Lincoln County. And it was really to look at what housing we have on the ground now and what housing are we going to need in the future. So this is a very extensive report. She really dug into the demographics, to the data, made a lot of projections going out 5 years for what we can expect. I'm going to give you again a 3,000 foot view of what this is, but I encourage you all to really dig in and read it because it's got some very interesting numbers in it. So her process, she dug into the demographic data, the economic data. She did some data analysis within this that you can see. Then she went out and she interviewed major employers within the town of Waldoboro and did some employer surveys of people. So really took the demographic data and then contextualized it. Because we all know sometimes that, you know, census data is great and gives us a lot of things, but isn't always 100% accurate to what we know on the ground. So there's a lot of lived experience captured within this report as well. So what she found in terms of housing supply, none of this is going to be a shock to anyone who lives in Waldoboro, but 74% of Waldoboro housing stock is single family owned houses. So majority of the housing stock is built for single family ownership. 13% is multi-unit, 7.9% are mobile homes, 4% are seasonal. And then of the total units, there is almost 900 of the available housing stock. 900 of the units are older than 65 years old. So old housing stock, we have quite a bit. Of the, we have 277 new that are newer than 15 years old houses that have been built. So there's not a lot of new houses being built within the town of Waldoboro. There's a lot of old houses. There's a lot of middle-aged houses. So we know in Maine, the narrative is often there's an old housing stock. This is what that looks like for Waldoboro. 3.9% of the housing is rented as income restricted or subsidized. And 5% of the total housing is listed as short-term rentals. So again, that is contextualized within here in terms of what the county looks like.
Numbers, the percentages sound fine, the numbers. Like 74% of what number?
74% of 2,700.
27, okay.
Yeah, there's
I think
2,700.
that should be part of that is the
Wait.
number that you're working with.
Yeah. It's slightly over 2,700. It's like 2,774. Housing cost. The median home prices, single family home, just under $400,000. Mobile home, just over 200. And then these are less than the median home price for Lincoln County. So what that means is Waldoboro is more affordable than other places within Lincoln County. And then there are 35 units that are affordable at 80% of area median income, and 65 units are not affordable at 80% of area median income. When you look at the, she does a good deep dive into Waldoboro's area median income. And a lot of the residents of Waldeboro are at 80% of area median income. So what this tells us is that the housing is less affordable for most of the residents of Waldeboro. At 80% area median income. The average income for a resident of Waldeboro is right around $50,000 to $60,000 dollars per year. And that's a lot of the local based employers, 50 to 60K is what they're offering. So that's sort of the local employment average. And at 80% AMI, that puts a lot of the housing units out of reach of folks. Not all of them, but a lot of them. The demand. So this is from now projected out 5 years. It's steady but modest. There are currently 588 workers who commute into Waldeboro. From her interviews, what she found was that every employer said they have employees who would love to live in Waldeboro and maybe not commute if they could find the right house. So there's opportunities to change commuters into residents. There are also 212 adults ages 18 to 34 who currently live with relatives, a parent or someone else. And there's opportunity there to transfer those into either renters or owners. In the next 5 years, there's a 94 household increase. So again, very modest. And a 2.2% growth in renter households, which equates to 11 households. So there's, again, steady but slow demand for housing. And then I just pulled out some interesting demographics. In Waldeboro, most folks who are working within the town of Waldeboro are retail and accommodation and food service workers, are the top employment sectors. And the food service and accommodation sector is the fastest growing industry for Waldeboro. It grew, I believe it was 6%, 9%. I have too many numbers in my brain.
Very good.
Anyway, it grew. The average weekly wage across all the industry groups is $1,000 per week, which equates to about an annual salary of $53,000. So when people move to Waldeboro, 2/3 of those who relocated here came from within the state of Maine. So already living in Maine, already familiar with Maine, coming to Waldeboro. And then of the population of Waldeboro, 38.4% of the population travels more than 30 minutes to work. So there's a lot of people who live here, choose to live here and commute quite a distance elsewhere. But that's also something to take into account when you're considering housing and affordability of housing, because commuter costs and transportation costs factor into what people can afford for housing. And where people sometimes choose to live, especially as fixed costs like the price of gas increase. People can't control that. They can control how far they have to travel and how much gas they use. So some of the conclusions we pulled out, and again, there's a lot in here. It's a very dense report. We could have talked about this for hours, and if Jen had come, she could have given you, a good in-depth view, but there is significant pressure on affordability. There's limited options for year-round rentals. There's within the scope of the study, there were 2 houses on the market over the 8 months that she was doing the study. And there are, rental units that are coming on and going off the market all the time. There's some that aren't advertised through the normal channels that are available, but for the most part, there's more demand than there is supply. All of the rental, the multi-unit rental organizations said they have wait lists of between 10 and 20 people or households waiting to get into one of their units. Waldeboro needs a mix of housing options across all income spectrums and across renters, owners. The biggest demand was actually for single person households in the 65 plus age bracket was sort of the biggest growing demographic demand for housing. And Waldeboro does have some age restricted housing units, and points to the need for us to, encourage Voyan to build what they're building, because that is what is needed. That's the fastest growing demographic for housing needs, is that plus 65, 1 to 2 bedroom units. The number of units is projected, the number of households is projected to increase by 2.7%, but along with the entire state of Maine, Waldeboro is aging. So we're actually projected to lose some of the younger households and gain some of the 55 plus households. So we are getting older. And that's what I have for you. That's what I pulled out of here. As sort of a high level
Right
overview.
there.
You said-
4 out of the 5 of us on this board are.
Qualify for 55 plus housing.
So again, Jen presented us with a lot of data. There are not any like firm, this is what you should do conclusions within here. That's for us to think about and to do with our next steps. I think there are suggestions in terms of how we think about density in Waldeboro and where we promote growth and how we encourage developers like the Volunteers of America to think about, the type of, but this gives us a very clear picture, especially if we're going to write grants or to pursue developers to say, this is what we need, this is what we look like, this is where your market is. So.
The one thing that stands out to me is, the average home price, as you say, just right around 400,000. And then 3 or 4 slides later, they're talking about affordability. How can a young person, today's economy in today's world, step into Waldeboro and have $400,000 mortgage? Or they can't. I shouldn't say they can't, but it's challenging, especially for a young couple, even if they're both working, if they decide to have children, and then what happens then? And it's just, it's a balancing act, and how do we deal with it? And I know that there's some folks in town that feel that, well, we need more houses. Well, yeah, we could use some more houses. Where do we put the houses? What type of housing?
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is really interesting. We need, we need a mix. We need especially 1 bedroom houses, but we need 2, 3 bedroom units. And we need more houses at that 80% of AMI affordability.
And I'm not you'll never sway me. I'm not a big proponent of the town paying for someone's housing to build the housing, or even subsidizing getting some housing built. Maybe encourage a developer to come in and give them some ideas, but we need to keep I'm going to keep my hands off it, because we don't need to be in that business.
I think the role of the town is to make sure that our utility districts can support increased growth where we have them, that we have enough water and sewer capacity to be able to support increased growth. I think we can also look at, we have growth areas, we have zoning, we have some underutilized town properties that Lincoln County is currently doing a study to look at to see what the feasibility would be to put developments there. And it's not for the town to develop, but if the town does have underutilized properties, to think about how could we entice developers to build what we might need for the town of Waldeboro. So those are just two things that the town can do to think about housing within the town. That isn't directly, I agree that, you know, building of housing and being a landlord is not the town's responsibility, but it's looking to make sure that our infrastructure can actually support the growth that we need and want.
Yeah, and then also we gotta think, okay, the services, you know, we have this growth in housing and population goes up, then we gotta increase our services, and what's that gonna do? Obviously, more houses means we should get a little more tax revenue.
Mhm.
But is it gonna be enough to sustain that we need? Right now, we struggle with what we have.
Like if you had 20 houses to support one employee. In taxes,
Right?
you'd have to have 20 houses to support that in taxes, realistic.
So
I've done the talks.
that's all I have. If you have any questions, I'm happy to pass them on to Jen. And I encourage you to dig into that because there's a lot there that I didn't even touch on.
You may want to digest it and then we can have Jen.
Yes, yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thanks, Ted.
Public hearing none, citizen comments? They all left. Select board comment.
I'm good.
I'm good. Likewise.
I feel like I had something. 32 is a reroute around my house, so use caution. Busy,
Very busy day,
very busy traffic on Depot Street today getting around.
very busy.
I'll just bring up one thing that in your packet, I noticed that there's a letter here,
It's under the consent. agenda.
This kind of in line with what Kate was just talking about, and I've had a conversation with this individual, with Scott. He's called me several times about it, and his concern is piece of property, town-owned property that abuts his property up on the blueberry fields is gonna get traded, turned out, moved. And I said, nothing like that has come forward in front of the select board yet. But he said, maybe I sent a letter on a whim. I should have talked to you first about it, but he's been hearing rumors that we're gonna be selling some property and putting
I
up
think
some
that's
housing.
from Kate saying we got the planning grant from the county just to look at it.
Right.
Strictly looking at
Yeah.
it. No decision has been made. We don't have the report back yet.
But could be a pretty complex situation here, it's pretty detailed, that piece of property that we have up there on Friendship Road, up by the blueberry fields is not a location for any type of housing. But there's some other people talking about some other plans, and he's hearing that, thinking that we as a select board are doing that, and I said, nothing is coming in front of us. So he understands that I'm gonna keep an eye on it for as long as I can, we'll keep him abreast.
But he also points out there that he thinks the lines are different than what they are. So
Right.
before anything like that would
Yeah.
happen, there's gotta be survey, like, I don't want him just to think we go off the.
Yeah, and number one
Tax
is,
map.
we have to agree to it. So.
Right.
So, town manager report.
Just reminding everybody that Route 32 is closed and the detour is cross street to Wagner Bridge to Depot Street. So everybody, please use caution. That has been one of the big complaints that we got today was they're speeding, there's increased traffic, and we're sorry. That was an MDOT reroute. I got the actual detour and the confirmed dates from somebody at DOT Thursday afternoon. That's when I received the actual confirmation.
And their signs were already up before.
The signs
then.
were up before that, but the actual official notice that we needed to get did not come till late Thursday afternoon. I just want to mention that we are going to be, this Public Works Department will be working on Old Route 1. They've actually, I think, already been up there a couple times,
Up there cutting brush.
already cutting brush. So we are starting on our paving projects. There is work going on Mill Street. There is going to be paving from the state. We got their updated list. So their paving, we would like to happen before we go in to do our downtown improvements. Believe it or not, that has to be done first. So we're pushing off our date to advertise for construction. So we're looking probably more into the fall than the beginning of fall. It'll probably be mid-fall when we start to do all the downtown speed tables and all that work. We need to ensure that they fix the sinkhole on Friendship Street right after, if you've been around, right across from the laundromat downtown, that little alleyway. There's a sinkhole there. They're putting in a new culvert there. So that would be part of their work that they're doing. And then they're doing light paving from the intersection of Friendship all the way up to all the way up, what's that hill called that's on Old Route 1, not Old Route, well, Main Street,
Knowles Hill?
West Main Street, no,
Oh,
the other way,
Benner's Hill.
Benner's Hill. All the way out to Route 1, so there is going to be some light paving being done. That's what I have.
Nothing about 220 or anything.
220 is not on the schedule.
They better be fixing some potholes then.
I will put that request in again,
They put
but
some.
It seems like they just.
they just
They
did it.
just did it.
What is it? And it's like, it can't be, because I just drove down that road Friday night and it's no.
It was
a horror
20,
show.
21, 22, because we had
Yeah.
just moved down in South Waldeboro.
Yeah, it was,
There's
It
4
was-
inch potholes.
I was driving a dump truck then, so.
yeah, I would agree with you, but it's just not, it's not on,
And I
it's
drove
not
down
on the
there today.
list.
Trust me, I know.
Believe me,
And I don't wanna go
everybody
down
who
there.
rides that road,
I had no choice.
everybody who goes down that road feels the exact same way.
Anything new with Lady Slipper Lane? Anything back from Fred?
I have not heard anything from Fred.
We're ever curious.
I believe he's received, I believe he will be receiving correspondence this week from the town.
Okay, gotta get a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved.
Second.
And that includes a quick claim deed for 190 Cross Street and 135 Duck Buck Road.
Any discussion? All in favor? Very well. New business, we have a docket CR 25-232 criminal portraiture approval.
The second one we're doing inside of a year.
to
And it's in the amount of $1,166.
Make that motion to accept it.
Second.
Mr. Blodgett, you will have to sign it as the chair of the select. And this is when assets are seized by the state, we get a portion of assets seized.
Do we know what these assets are?
Cash.
This was cash,
Really?
is it?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find where it was.
Yeah, it said cash.
Move seconded, any more discussion? All in favor? And we have FB Environmental Services contract, and that's not Facebook.
No, FP Environmental. This is for the testing that we are required to do at the transfer, near the transfer station. It's
Right.
the wells that are tested every year.
We have to sign this every year.
Yes. I just need a motion to authorize me to enter into the agreement.
Which is $11,410.
Correct. And that is covered in our budget.
I make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Old business, we have 11.1 tax acquired property, talk about a due date.
Correct. As you know, our tax collector was in at our last meeting and went over a tax acquired property list for you. In that time, we've made contact with the owners of the tax acquired properties. To this date, 2 have paid, many have expressed their ability to come in and pay. But we need a date that they have to pay by. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I can come in and pay that and I'll be in Tuesday, but without a date where this is the end, you have to pay it by this date and it's set by the select board. I would recommend the July 1st date. These properties have been in default for 3 years, so
Or more?
no, 3
Three.
years.
Okay.
Straight. So I think we need to set a date where they need to pay by. So I discussed it with the tax collector. Her recommendation was July 1st. It's the start of our new fiscal year. And if you feel so inclined, we need to establish that date officially.
I so move that date to be July
Second.
1st.
Discussion. I have one thing. So on July 2nd, I come in and I say, well, I've got my money here. Is it too late?
Yes,
What do we do?
that's when at the next meeting, you will be getting a RFP for sale. We were going to have to hire a real estate agent to put the house on the market, and then any of the proceeds would go that isn't part of the taxes or the fees, then goes back to the owner. So technically, they'll be subject to sale of those properties after the 1st.
So if it's,
There is a provision where after that happens, they could essentially buy it back. It's a little bit more in depth of what they'd have to do, but it's not going to be as simple as coming in and handing in a certified check and it's all good. Because by that time, we may have incurred other fees, so.
right, and do we take liability on these residences, these homes? These properties, once they are declared tax.
They are sold as is. We are not taking on the liability of that, but they are sold as is. So if there's people in them, the buyer has to understand the towns, we're not essentially making people leave, but the new owner may make people.
Which happened 3 or 4 years ago, if I remember
Correct.
correctly.
Correct. You sell it as is and then
I remember.
it happens. It's a lot. of
That's
fun.
the same thing that happens when a bank acquires a home
It's
and
the
they sell
exact same
it,
thing.
they sell it vacant or occupied.
Vacant
and
or occupied,
whoever
but-
purchased it
But
from the
I want
bank has
everybody to understand, this is not new. All of these properties have gotten notices sent, regular mail and certified mail. Every one of these properties was called and talked to. I mean, I spent a lot of time, even for some of the ones that are out of state, tracking people down. I felt like a PI. It was really quite interesting. And like I said, again, it's not like it's a surprise. Nobody was like, oh, I didn't know.
Right.
So it's a matter of, yes, you have to get this done and it has to be done within this time frame. So like I said, some of this goes back to 2020. I guess it's 2023, 2020. Yes. So they're 3 years old. So
So dated July 1st, all in favor? Oh,
and I'm sure that our tax collector will be in again to talk to you about the nitty-gritty of all the procedures. And it's all in that tax acquired policy that we adopted. So if you have any questions, I'm sure Christine can answer them and be more than happy to.
okay, we have, next we have 11.2, it's a nomination for the Legislative Council of Kate. The guy.
I make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? I think she's made it known, she. looks
She would
forward
like
to
it, yes.
All in favor? Items for the next meeting.
Just bear in mind, the next meeting is election night.
Oh, that's right.
So we will not have our lovely clerk with us.
I wrote down, for the June meeting, the RFP for the community park. Was that for the cement? I believe, I can't remember who I talked to, but we talked about the cement work being done. Oh, maybe it was Kate. About putting an RFP. She was supposed to have that ready for next month. Possibly.
I did not know that. I will ask her.
I think at last
They're ready,
Thursday.
they're ready to that for that point?
Are we, I didn't,
It's gonna be a while, it's gonna be a little while before anybody can do anything.
Oh, we
So
haven't
she-
secured any funding for that.
well, we
Yeah, we get
have,
$500,000.
yeah, but I didn't know I'm not sure that,
We get the
I will chat with her about that.
We get the $500,000 last week, she told me.
Oh,
It's in our possession.
But I just want to make sure, I didn't think we were ready to, I think it was. Yeah, I'm not sure that it's
Okay.
for that. I may be wrong, but I
Yeah,
have
well,
not
no.
heard that.
Because that's what I asked. I specifically asked, because I also asked about the parking lot being repaved and stuff. Of what we could do for funding for that as well,
Okay.
because I thought it was pretty uplifted and in
Right.
disarray, so.
Well, it's better than it was. I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It looks
Public
it
Works
looks a
did a
lot
wonderful
better.
No, but I
job
mean,
down
I'm
there.
talking the parking lot itself,
Yeah.
is, if
Yeah.
it needs to be redone, where's the funds can we get for that to
Mm.
make that parking lot a lot better if we're gonna improve everything
But
else?
we don't wanna redo stuff that we're gonna have to undo
Yeah,
Right,
I will check with her.
based on the plan.
Yeah.
I will definitely check with her.
yeah, because that's one of the things I asked her is, when are we gonna get the funds? She said we got them last week, so.
We had a meeting with them last week and they also explained that there would be the potential to get another $175,000 towards that project, so.
Awesome.
We're just starting. It's exciting.
Yeah.
We're happy.
Get the house down.
We're working on
Get
it.
that dig in.
We're working on it.
Anything else for the next meeting? I mean, it's gonna be, I'm sure there's other things gonna come up. The tax collector's gonna come in here.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll give us an update
And that would be good because she's not
involved with the election.
involved with the election that night. I can always,
Except her own.
well, she did not, as far as I know, she will be here. That's what I had.
Motion to adjourn? Is that what you wait for?
Make the motion,
Second.
all in favor? Adjourn, thank you.